friend, welcome to Healthy in a Wild World. I'm your host, Bonnie Wilderson-Heiss. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist and health practitioner. This podcast is for people who are sick and tired of feeling lost in society's view of what it takes to achieve and maintain a healthy lifestyle. It's for those looking for an alternative to yo-yo dieting, strict restrictions, overwhelming exercise programs, and mindset activities that feel like a complete waste of time. My guests and I will share conversations and tips that teach you how to eat all your faves, be active without ever hitting a gym, and meditate on your own terms to find the unique path to a healthy lifestyle that fits into your world. It's time to break some rules and pave a new path to health and wellness. Are you ready to find your path through this wilderness? Let's get started. Are you sick? Have you been sick and you just don't know what to do to combat it to get back to health again? Tired of being told that you have to take prescription medication or over-the-counter medication? This week's live, we go through, you're sick. Now what? Go through foods that you can eat, various herbal remedies that you can take advantage of either through a tea or a tincture or aromatherapy, things of that nature, to help you recover and get back to health quickly. I invite you to continue to listen as we get into this week's live. You can hear I am all nasally, so this seems like the perfect topic for the week. I wrote notes, so if you see me looking down, that's what is up. I had some updates for you guys. First and foremost, it is the new year, so happy new year. Hi, Michael. Couple of things, because I noticed just talking with you guys separately, outside of the group, inside the group, privately, that some of you aren't able to watch. So here's how 2022 is going to be different. I have a YouTube channel. I have a podcast. The audio on the podcast is, oh my God, it is absolutely horrendous. Holy crap. I thought I was doing a good job and I just listened and So I will be fixing that for the ones that are already up there. If you can stand to listen, there are topics there. I'll include underneath here. I'm going to include the link for it. But what I'm going to do is, so for today's live, between now and next Monday, the following Monday, the live will be posted in YouTube and podcast. I would like to say it will be posted the very next day, but every time I do that, toddlers, the twins, something happens. So I'm giving myself a week. That way, anything happens, it's easily updated. I mean, the live will be on Facebook so everybody can watch it, but I wanted you to have the ability to listen as well. And as January goes through, I'm hoping, because I'm not going to edit these. The lives I'm not going to edit. We're just going to go with it. I'll post it on YouTube, but I want to include links. Have you seen the videos where they talk about different topics? Like today, I've got my outline up, right? I have to have an outline. Like last week is an example of what happens when I don't have an outline. I'm a talker, ADHD, I go all over the world. So some of the things on this, like just as an example, I've got tummy ailments, I've got coughs, I've got congestion and common cold symptoms, headache and sinus pressure, foods that help, herbs that help. What would be really beneficial is to have this posted with links where if you need to go directly to one topic or the other, you can just click on the link in the description, go right there. I can't do that on Facebook. I can do it in YouTube. And I can do it on my podcast. So that's part of the reason it will take that much time. If I can get it out the next week, I will, or the next day, I will totally let you guys know. It really legitimately just depends on what the boys allow me to do. I don't want to spend every Monday night up at midnight trying to edit all of these things to get it up for the next day. I don't like the idea of rushing because I think that the quality of the information that you guys are getting and will continue to get throughout the next year, it loses something. when you have bad editing, when you do something and you screw up, because I have been known to edit a video or edit a podcast and I edit out the best parts. And once you hit delete, they're gone. Right? And I get it. Have the extra, I know. Lessons learned. But moving forward, I want to make sure that what you guys get, whether it's the podcast or it's the YouTube, it's an easily accessible resource so that you can use it tomorrow, you can use it next month, whatever. Like here in Texas, cedar fever is a thing until March. I now have, like what you're hearing right now, I have allergies to ragweed. I have serious allergies to cedar. I definitely react to it, but I also have allergies to dust. All of the houses around us. Now, when we moved in July, nothing was around us. Our neighbors on either side, our neighbors all the way along the front of the house, several houses up on this side and on that side across the street. No houses being built. That's no longer the case. They're building them all at once, which I am grateful for, because that means we have to deal with the construction, possibility of blowing tires and all the stuff that kind of comes with living in a construction zone or working in a construction zone like Brian does. It's not anything we didn't know before. Brian's worked in new homes for years. So like we knew all this. But the benefit of all of this is everything will be finished in the next few months. Until then, I might sound like this for the next 3 months, just because there's only so much that holistic methods can help with, and, conventional medicine. There's only so much. Your body can only handle so much. It means I'm going to have to be extra diligent when I'm going out and avoiding people with colds, things like that. But for the most part, this is life. Now, what we're going to talk about today, because I don't want to, derail this too much. These apply to being sick. They can help when we're dealing with allergies, but for the most part, they deal with helping you not only prevent getting sick. So like if you know people in the office or people in school, if you know that they're fighting ailments, then you just start doing whatever it is. So when I know that people in the school, so like the boys, elderberry, it's a thing. Elderberry is a thing for flus. It's a thing for coughs. It is one of the best antiviral, antibacterial, antioxidant berries that we can get, right? It's why everyone is so over the moon about it. It helps with the sniffles. It helps with the cough. It is a much better preventative than a fighter. That being said, once you are sick, you still want to take the elderberry, because it will still help your body fight. Okay. When you are sick, your immune system is already fighting something. So that means you're susceptible to other things. It's the whole, if you're sick, stay home. There's a reason. If you're sick, you stay home because you're susceptible to pass on, right? If it's something that is contagious, you can pass it on. Not only that, you are more susceptible to other ailments. So now not only are you fighting whatever it is you're dealing with, but now you've got other things to worry about. And with COVID in the world right now, none of us need that. So if you're feeling sick, stay home. Give yourself a day or two. And I know, I get it. It is awful. It's trying for some of us who are really struggling and just need those hours. But it's like that saying, you either make time for health or you make time for illness. And your body dictates when you make time for illness. You don't get a say-so. It will never happen when you want it to. It never happens on your timeline. Health happens on your timeline. You have control. I'm a control freak. I like having control. It's a thing. If I can control it, I can anticipate, I can feel and listen to my body and learn to listen to my body a little bit better over time, right? This big thing here is listening to your body. All right, so let's talk tummies. Flu is a thing, right? It's still a thing. It is still out there. We're still fighting flus. We're still fighting stomach viruses. These apply whether you are fighting an ailment and are sick or food poisoning. Your body's still in that thing, right? All right. So what we're talking about specifically is nausea, GI discomfort of any kind. So crampiness, gassiness. If you ever have a situation where you're sick and you can clear the house, lemon water. Strong lemon water is the best solution and remedy for a very gassy situation, whether it is painful, whether it is, hi Christy, whether it's painful, whether it's just stinky, for diarrhea, for constipation, anything within your digestion and elimination system, lemon water really helps. Now, I know you guys have heard about lemon water and you've heard about apple cider vinegar, right? ACV. Lemon works best on the stomach, the digestion system. Apple cider vinegar works best on the elimination system. So, working collaboratively, yes, lemon helps with gassiness, but gassiness starts in your stomach, works its way through, right? Intestines, you get a lot of gas in there. Majority of the time you'll get a bubble in your stomach and then it kind of works its way through. This eases that. All right, some other things that help, and I have a recipe for you guys. I am so excited about this one because it's one that I learned about this year and I knew we could do, but I hadn't actually tried it yet. And I'm a big fanatic of trying what I recommend before I recommend it because, I mean, it could be total crap, right? Ginger, lemon. Ginger eases and soothes the stomach, right? It helps restore that pH. It gives your tummy a nice little hug is what ginger does. Turmeric helps with inflammation. It helps with any sort of discomfort that is related to inflammation. The deal with turmeric though, you want to make sure that if you're taking turmeric of any kind, that you include black pepper. Otherwise, it's kind of a waste. Black pepper and curcumin work together. They activate each other. Black pepper is a stimulant. Here's how it works. Black pepper stimulates the release of the properties of anything it is connected to. With curcumin or with turmeric root, what happens is the black pepper activates the active components, the active properties. The most active property in turmeric root is curcumin. So if you have turmeric, make sure you have black pepper. Fresh is always best. Ginger, lemon, and turmeric root, fresh is always best. All right. Rosemary and dill act very similarly. The difference with rosemary and dill is you could do the essential oil, sniff it, rub a little bit clockwise. Everything in your body is clockwise. I'm doing that backwards then. I have clock. I don't know why I don't know clockwise. I'm trying to do it so that you guys see it. But anyway, clockwise. So anything that you do, you want to do clockwise. Okay. Clockwise brings in the positive. Counterclockwise releases the negative. Make sense? It's an energetic thing. Our body and the way our lymphatic system works and our circulation goes clockwise. That's why when you're applying any oils to your stomach, that's why when you're doing a facial massage, which we'll get to, I did post it on TikTok. I'll put that separately on YouTube as well so you guys can have it, and I'll put the link in the description. Everything is clockwise. Everything. You are releasing the negative, you are embracing and accepting abundance and positivity, right? Circulation works clockwise. So anything you're putting into your system, especially your digestion system, when you go counterclockwise, it can actually be counterproductive because your body's sitting there going, well, wait, that's not the way that we work. It sounds weird, but try it. You'll see. Fermented foods. And this is one, I am so glad I wrote this down because this is one that I tend to forget about because I just naturally eat them. We're talking pickles, we're talking sauerkraut, kombucha, kimchi, anything that is fermented cabbage, and anything along those lines. Pickled peppers is fermented. The fermentation process helps the healthy bacteria within your gut. It helps feed it, but then it also stops from it's not a healthy fuel or food for the unhealthy bacteria. Okay, we have bacteria growth in our stomachs because it aids with digestion, right? It helps us digest. It helps the digestive and the elimination system work effectively. Fermented foods helps us retain electrolytes. It provides us some electrolytes, actually, and helps to just kind of regulate and balance out that process so that our healthy bacteria are able to do their job and digest the foods and get them from one end to the other. All right. And do so without discomfort. That's the purpose. That's the goal. So if you're nauseous, I know it sounds really weird. And whenever I get sick to my stomach, I hate the thought of eating a pickle. I do. It works. Bananas work as well. Okay. Bananas are like a magic hangover cure. They work on headaches. They work on stomach. They ease, they soothe. It's a thing. I have a recipe later on for you guys that you can keep in your refrigerator that will actually help over time. It's interesting. So here's a recipe I have for you for tummy ailments. You can make it immediately, or you can make it and store it and then add the sparkling water as you need it. Homemade ginger ale. Do you know you can make ginger ale at home? You can. And it's absolutely delicious. So you take half a piece of ginger, fresh ginger root. This isn't going to work with dried ginger. This isn't going to work with candied ginger. You need fresh ginger root. Okay. Take a half piece of it, shred it, cut it up, whatever, press it through your garlic press. It would be a little difficult, but you could do it. Half a lemon, juiced, steep it, let it get all mixed up together. You can put a tablespoon of honey if you want a little sweet. Otherwise, it's going to have a very strong ginger flavor. If you like that, leave the honey out. And then sparkling water. 8 ounces of sparkling water to half a piece of ginger and half a lemon juiced. Okay. So if you want to make more, then you basically take, you know how you can buy ginger root? Just buy a big old ginger root, buy a couple lemons, put it all together, keep it in the fridge in a glass tight sealed jar. Okay. When you need it, pull it out, pour a little bit in a cup, pour your sparkling water over it. Usually what works for me is about 2 tablespoons or so. And I literally just go psh, because I hate measuring things. That's why I can cook and not bake. It's my thing. It really, just having things easily accessible, especially during winter months and allergy season, when we're going to fight things no matter what, having them easily accessible so we can just go done is crucial. Least effort we have to put out, the quicker we recover, the quicker we're able to give our body the things it needs to help it heal, and the quicker we're on to the rest of our lives. All right. So now let's talk coughs, because that is a thing in our house right now. Oh my God, I can get rid of the congestion, I can get rid of the headaches, I can get rid of the fevers, but my God, these kids and their coughs. I haven't used fresh ginger paste yet. That's actually a really good idea, Mandy. I have not used that. I bet that would be really good. Because effectively that's what you're doing, or what you're using is the fresh ginger, and you can crush it or you can chop it up. So that's a great idea. So Mandy, if anybody doesn't know, yes, less work. Mandy Prince was a chef a long time ago. She's probably going to kill me for saying this, but if you have any recipe challenges, she's my go-to expert. She's in the group. Pick her brain. She's amazing. She's the one that pops up all those cookie recipes and the what was it you made? Oh my gosh. The chicken cordon bleu that was like dairy free and gluten free. Brian's still waiting for that one. All right. So let's talk coughing. We're going to go from our tummy ailments into like coughs, common colds, headaches, sinus pressure, things that we are going to deal with through allergy season, regardless. And typically it's like a year-long thing, right? All right. Banana water, pineapple juice, and honey. How do you make banana water? Remember when I was talking about bananas? This is how you do it. It helps with your tummy. It helps with your coughing, right? And yes, you can combine the pineapple juice with the banana. Boil your bananas. You want a good 15-20 minutes. You want to make sure that you can see the properties coming out of the banana. You can see it. The water gets cloudy. Boil it. Let it cool. Drain it, right? Strain it. And you can either have it heated like a tea, or you can drink it cold. It actually is much more effective heated. So kind of like you would drink your, why am I blanking? A hot toddy. So it's very similar to drinking a hot toddy. You can add honey if you want, but bananas are pretty sweet. And the riper the banana, the better the effects. You can hear a lot about bananas because, they really are very good for us. The people that were diligent in trying to make sure that we could get bananas in the States knew what they were doing. As much as I would love to grow bananas here, unless we do it scientifically, it just doesn't work. We don't have the climate in a lot of areas to sustain the amount of bananas we would need. All right. So now with your coughing, pineapple juice. Pineapple juice, it eases coughs. It's amazing. So you're coughing, you have a glass of pineapple juice, and then you stop. If you're still coughing, it's because of sinus drainage. And a lot of times, just the fact that you have suppressed the instinctive action, because sometimes what can happen with coughs, especially when you're dealing with sinus drainage, and earaches, things like that it's hitting the back of your throat and you're coughing and your body's trying to expel it. Oftentimes what happens is our body just gets into that motion of we're supposed to be coughing, and then it doesn't stop. So drinking something like banana water or pineapple juice will help suppress that instinctive action that's been triggered. So now when you're coughing, it's actually an effective cough, which is what you're going for. If you're having any sore throat because of the coughing, which over time that happens, inflammation, you know how that works. A couple of things that you can do is obviously cough drops. Elderberry helps with it, but honey. And anytime you have honey, it soothes the throat. You don't want to drink honey or have honey and then drink water. You want it to definitely have a chance to absorb in all the mucosal linings within your throat. That's where it's going to be most effective. Honey that is local to you, that is raw, is best. If you are under the age of 1, you cannot have honey. And preferably under the age of 3. However, colds are colds. Mine are getting honey in their things because they need to get better. It's just all there is to it. All right. Headache and sinus pressure and congestion. One of the best things for congestion, whether it's chest or nasal, within your head, spicy foods. Your nose starts running, your body starts sweating, it's heating up from the inside out. Especially if you're someone who doesn't like spicy foods, it is much easier to eat something spicy and have an effective result than for those of us that eat spicy foods all the time. Your body is throwing a curveball, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, we gotta get rid of everything. And everything means congestion. One thing you want to be careful of with chest congestion is sometimes that is paired with that coughing. So spicy foods can be irritating to your throat. So just keep that in mind. If that is the case, make yourself a cup of tea, lemon, honey, pinch of cayenne. Literally the, what is that thing called? The Master Cleanse? Literally. Heat it up in a teacup. Put a little bit of extra honey to help your throat. It'll work the same. Mints are especially helpful. They help your tummy. They help congestion. They help a headache. They open the vascular pathways within here for headaches. Put some peppermint oil right here. This finger. Oh, oops. Clockwise. I always do that. Clockwise. And it will help relieve pressure behind your eyes that's related to migraines. It also works in the nape of your neck. Now, the nape of your neck, you want 2 fingers right here, okay? And the reason I point out fingers is because each one is able to press to a certain strength level, a certain intensity. So, sinus pressure, you want this. Your middle finger works too, right? Press here. All right, so now that we talked about fingers, I don't usually use thumb unless I need to go back here and I really need to just drain the lymphatic system. And, you know, of course, pressing. Hold on, 1 sec. Okay, so to say that it works is an understatement. All right, let's talk headache and sinus pressure. So when you have a headache, sometimes it's going to come from within here, right? And that's your sinus pressure. Migraines come from back here a lot of the time and will wrap around. The nape of your neck, literally the part where your brainstem comes in, there's a little divot. That's where you want to put your 2 fingers, first 2 fingers, clockwise. It works best to use a peppermint oil, a spearmint oil, eucalyptus is amazing as well. And just push right there and use a clockwise circular motion. Up here, pinching right here and right here. So where your earlobe meets cartilage, right here. This part in here, where that piercing goes, you're going to want to put your pinky in there because it's the only thing that fits, and you push on that spot. My pinkies are really weak on this finger, so I can usually do it with my first finger and press really hard, pressing in and up, okay? Hold it for 10 to 20 seconds and release it, okay? I know I want my Doss piercing over here from my migraines. Works best over here. Works on your right side best. I want it on my left, but right side works best. All right. If you're having a really bad migraine, push on both ears, in and up, right? Release it after 10, 20 seconds. Sniff peppermint, have peppermint tea, chamomile, lavender. Those all work really well with headaches, regardless whether it's sinus or migraine. Now, when we're talking sinus congestion, I'm sitting here going, man, my allergies are out of control today, so go figure, right? I posted the video for this the other day because I had a couple of people reach out who are having some serious congestion related to sinus. So we're going to go through this. I will include the video on YouTube and then put the link in the description under this so that you guys have direct link just to the massage itself. Here's how this works. And you can do this in less than a few seconds. I do this with the boys and I kind of modify it a little bit. Drew laughs when I do behind the ear. Here's how it works. You start at your center of your face, out and around, right? This is your lymphatic drainage. It's one of the main lymphatic drainage points. Here's how it works. These two places right here, you've got sinuses here, sinuses here, right? So right here, right next to your nose, take 2 fingers, press in and up. So it feels like you're pushing on the bone and you go clockwise. You look kind of funky. You want to do about 7 of those, right? If you start just by pressing and holding for 10 and then doing your massage, it actually is a lot more effective. It's almost like a trigger point, okay? Now, once you've done your circles, you take it from here. You start that pressure point in the same place and you go out along your cheekbone. So you're under your cheekbone. So you end up right here, okay? And you do that 7 times. From there, you need to come up here. This part right here where your eyebrow meets your skin, one there, and press. And you're going to use one finger, either your first finger or your middle finger. I usually use my middle finger. Just have it. Press and hold for 10 seconds. Once you're done with that, then you take it up and out, ending in that same place, okay? So it's up and out 7 times. And once you come from here, we need to get this part, right? So here, finger right in front of the ear, finger behind the ear. You're going to go clockwise 7 times. And then when you're done with those 7 circles, just press it down once. Last thing, see? It's funny because when you practice this and you actually do this as a consistent thing, the minute you do this, your brain goes, oh, I know what we're doing. Anything that you do more than 7 times within a 3-week period, your brain remembers. So if you're congested, it will trigger it. Very last thing, and this works so well for double chins. All right. This sometimes can actually just be stagnation when you're looking at congestion within your face. And over here, have you ever noticed that right in here gets swollen? Your face gets all puffy. It's not just puffy here and here because of sinuses. It's usually puffy here. So you take your 2 fingers like this, all right? Under here, they're going to be together here, up. And when you pull them down, your fingers separate, okay? So it's 1 on each side of the lymphatic system, 7 times. You can do 10, you can do less. What I have found, 7 is the magic number. 10 to hold, 7 to massage, all right? Pinch in here. It's another thing. Right in this little part. Any of those will help you relieve headache, congestion, and allow this to go. One of the things that I have found, there's a lot of people out there suggesting face massage, and what they do is they put the oils directly on their face, like essential oils. I don't do that unless I'm really congested. And then in that case, I'll use tea tree oil. I sometimes will use peppermint, but it's very diluted. And when I dilute the peppermint for use on my face, I'll use either jojoba oil or camellia, just because it's the best thing for my face. I have combo skin. It's sensitive. It's got rosacea. It doesn't get happy. You know, it doesn't stay happy. It gets upset. And then all of a sudden, like, I look like freaking Rudolph. You guys have seen it. So it's something to keep in mind when you're doing that massage. Now, over here, one of the things that I will do if I know I'm fighting congestion, I know my allergies are kicking my butt, like right now, vapor rub. And literally, I mean, I get these and then I refill them. The best thing to use, and the boys have this, is aloe. So you get aloe gel and you put your essential oils in. You don't get all that crap all over your fingers, it sticks everywhere. Ugh. Something else to keep in mind when you are fighting colds, congestion, and tummy ailments. The minute you start experiencing any symptom, 3 things you can do. Pick one. When you go to bed at night, slather the bottom of your feet with vapor rub. In a pinch, I use my BioFreeze. I travel with BioFreeze. So if I'm out, Cypress is a good one for lymphatic drainage. And if you're dealing with congestion, congestion's going to be here. It's going to be in your lymphatic system. You need to move to drain the lymphatic system. If you don't move, your lymphatic system becomes stagnant. You don't heal. All right, so I travel with my BioFreeze. So in a pinch, if I'm traveling and all of a sudden I'm feeling icky, I will legit use BioFreeze. It has menthol in it, which is the reason why I'm even recommending it. So bottoms of your feet, preferably vapor rub. In a pinch, BioFreeze. Here's the 2 weird ones. Freshly sliced red onion. Put the fresh part on the bottoms of your feet. Cover with socks. Same thing with vapor rub. You want to cover with white socks. They will not be white in the morning. Don't expect them to be. Potatoes. Preferably white potatoes. I've actually recommended to some people to use purple for little kids just because it's fun and, it's a fun color. Let's put some purple on your feet. Your feet will be purple in the morning because that's legit what's going to happen. And you cover with socks. And you because we sweat through feet and the bottoms of our feet and the pads of our hand, right? So when you're fighting ailments, regardless of what they are going to sweat through your feet. When you have a fever, cold chills, you sweat, right? You sweat it out. Sweat goes through the bottoms of your feet, everything escapes. So what people like to call toxins, that's what you're looking at. Toxins is just one of those words that has been made very dramatic, and the original intention when applied to health is not as dramatic as it is currently used. All right. Or as it's currently used. All right. So let's talk foods and herbs. Those of you that don't know, yes, I am a nutritionist, but I'm also an herbalist and aromatherapist. So in my world, I don't just look at food. I look at herbs because a lot of times my diet will take care of things. But if you're fighting something, then you're already eating the things that are helping you prevent. So you need a little extra. So that's where aromatherapy and herbal remedies come in. Something to note about aromatherapy versus straight up herbal medicine. Herbal medicine is long-term. Essential oil is immediate. So traditional medicine, and long before conventional medicine was a thing, prescription medicines, when everything started to develop in the late 1800s, prior to that, medicine was essential oils. And it's because you're pressing all the top properties out of plants. Okay? The constituents that are coming out of it are the ones that help you the most. They're the ones that are the most potent. There's something called a therapeutic margin. And in some cases, those therapeutic margins are very small, which means that it is extremely potent. They're effective. So when we talk herbs, I want you to keep in mind, you can use herb and you can use essential oil. We're going to talk about that. Because there's a couple of things on here that are really stronger than they need to be and can be harmful. People think plants are safe and you can use however much you want and they're just safe. It's not necessarily the case. You need to look at herbal remedies and essential oils as medicine so that you can effectively use them in a manner that helps your body heal, helps your body prevent. Okay? Not push over the mountain and over that cliffside into the rocks below. All right? So, Oh my gosh, I should have waited till the very end to do the massage. All right, so when we look at foods, there are a couple foods I want you to kind of think about. All right, carrots. No one thinks about carrots. Celery's come out as a miracle food. Celery is actually very healthy for us. It helps just flush everything out. It's a spring cleanser. And can really just help our body come up to 100% and recover very quickly, very easily. So celery juice first thing in the morning, especially freshly pressed, if you can stand it. I hate the stuff, so I choke it down, but it's really effective. Carrots, same thing. Carrots, they're what I like to call a hidden miracle food. They originally were grown for medicine. They weren't grown to eat. They were grown for medicine. A lot of the foods that we eat nowadays were actually grown so that they could be used by healers and medicine men and women in remedies. So what does carrots help with? Or what do carrots help with? There we go. I can't talk. Coughing, allergies, diarrhea. If you are constipated, do not eat carrots. That's all I'm going to say. What you're talking about with carrots, Kinsey, stop it. Carrots act as an anti-laxative. So they will stop you up, right? They really help. The fresher, the better. Hey, with a lot of food, she's hearing the people in the houses next door. With a lot of the foods that we eat and a lot of things I'm recommending here, fresh is best. With bananas, we're going to talk about garlic and oregano, rosemary, things like that. You can actually get a lot of properties, not just from raw, but from cooked. And where raw might be more too potent for people, cooked can be amazing. Another thing to look at is dark leafy greens. Dark leafy greens they're actually better if you kind of cook them real quick. So sauteed spinach. If you ever make sauteed spinach, or if you have in the past, you notice that it gets a vibrant green. Aroma comes out. I mean, it's like flip of a switch. All of a sudden you have this beautiful spinach aroma, right? Dark leafy greens release properties, the healing properties of their foods, found within their foods, when they are cooked just slightly. So when you look at any dark leafy green, it doesn't matter which one it is, spinach is just a really good example. Toss it in a little bit of olive oil or coconut oil, whatever your preference is. Cook it for 1 to 2 minutes, let it get vibrant green, and then use it. So if you're juicing, do that, put that in your juicer, because you're going to get many more benefits out of it than using it just raw. All right. Antioxidant smoothies. This is something I recommend a lot. So when you're sick, berries, citrus, dark leafy greens. I usually suggest people put ginger into their antioxidant smoothies, pineapple juice. We talked about that, so you know why. And when you blend up that whole mix, you can actually freeze individual servings so that when you are sick, it's already in your freezer. It has all the properties that you need to help fight a cold, fight sinus congestion, fight allergies, right? Fuel your body when you have a headache and you don't feel like eating anything. Something else is making a broth. Now, everyone talks about chicken broth and how healthy bone broth and everything is, right? The point behind bone broth and meat-related broths is the collagen and the properties found within that collagen and the bones, okay? If you do not eat meat, if you are a vegan or vegetarian, this is going to be the best recipe for you. It's the easiest thing. Take your crock pot, take your Instant Pot, don't care, put it on the stovetop, your choice. 4 to 6 cups of water and throw all the vegetables you have in the house in the pot. What you're looking for when you're eating while you're trying to fight an ailment and prevent whatever you've been exposed to is an abundance and an infusion of micronutrients. Things like B vitamins, beta carotene, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin K, I mean, A, everything. We're talking fat soluble, water soluble, as many as you can throw in that pot, throw it in there. And when that's done, you have two options. Blend it and drink it, or, sip on it, whatever you prefer, or enjoy the broth, or if you are someone who likes to eat all the vegetables, have yourself a bowl of vegetable soup. It's the easiest thing you can make because you're legitimately putting a bowl of water on the stove or in the crock pot or wherever and dumping things in and going on about your day. An hour later, if it's on the stovetop, I think the Instapot, you could do it in like 20, 30 minutes. You have a healing broth. And 4 to 6 cups lasts you several days for one person. For a family of like 3 to 4, it could be a whole day. And then the next day you just go back and do the same thing. It's easy, it's quick, it's healing, it's helpful. That's the purpose, right? Is to use it to help. All right, let's talk herbs. And then I have some infused water recipes for you guys. Things that I love having just handy, the recipes themselves, because it helps. And especially in the summertime when it's hot out, right? So garlic, all around super healer. Some of these we've talked about recently, but I wanted to make sure to mention them. So garlic, you got an all around super healer. It works best raw, but raw and pressed. So you're going to have to cut it or mince it or press it or something to get those juices flowing to get the benefits out of it. Okay. Onions, same thing. You're going to have to at least cut, right? Just to release the juices, get all the properties, the healing properties available to you. Oregano. This is one that is extremely potent. Garlic is just as potent. Okay, so when you're looking at garlic and you're looking at oregano, do not use garlic or oregano oil, the essential oils, straight. They are very potent. They can be very dangerous. Okay, their thresholds are so thin that, especially if you fight autoimmune conditions, dysfunction, chronic illness, sensitivities, anything along those lines, your body is going to react poorly to an overdose. And that's exactly what it is it's an overdose of it. So the best way to have those is fresh. And with oregano, it's oil of oregano. It's still potent. It is still strong. And diluted, it is amazing. Oregano is kind of like the antibacterial or the antibiotic of the herbal world. So when you're looking at fighting off colds, things that you would normally go and get amoxicillin or, any other antibiotic for, what you're looking at with the oregano is go ahead and using that instead of the prescription medication. Okay. Now with prescription medications, sometimes you got to go there. Sometimes you just got to, right? It's just the thing. Gotta love sinuses, right? Okay. Now, I should have done all of this right before a call and I wouldn't have to deal with all the drippies. It tickles your nose, All right. So with oregano, the reason I am really pushing the whole oil of oregano, dilute, all that is because that is one that I hear a lot of people complaining about after the effect. It is really helpful in preventative. It's helpful in helping you heal. It can be very strong. It's very potent. It tastes absolutely awful, but it's really helpful. So I'm always saying, have some spaghetti and meatballs. If you're fighting a cold, take the oil of oregano instead of oregano, right? The plant. Put a couple drops of that into your sauce. You're still getting the healing benefits and you're having a delicious meal. Why not? All right. Dandelion root. Have you guys heard about dandelion root? It's the spring cleaner of all the herbs. So what it was traditionally grown for is not to fill our fields with these beautiful yellow flowers that drive us all batshit crazy. It was originally to help in cleansing rituals for the springtime. So winter in a lot of ancient societies, it represents dead food. We talked about this. And it represents stagnation because before refrigeration, we didn't have a lot of access to fresh food. We had to basically scavenge and use what was accessible to us, canning, things of that nature, that people used to use those processes just to have food to eat through the winter. And a lot of times it meant not having produce, especially in winter month or winter states, where you're dealing with a lot, or winter areas. I don't know if they're like way back when there weren't states, there were countries and, Vikings and stuff like that. But when you're in those areas, it's very difficult to find fresh fruits and vegetables, plants to eat because it's winter. Everything's gone into hibernation, including the animals. So what do? And that's why come spring, they would do a cleansing ritual. And really all it entailed was using some herbs and eating as many micronutrients as possible from plant-based sources. That's a true cleanse. Our liver cleanses our body every single day. It does. No matter what we eat, it cleanses our body every single day. So effectively what you're doing by consuming some dandelion when you're sick, when you're fighting things, is you're helping your body just flush out what it doesn't need. That's its purpose. And kind of get you back to neutral. All right. Echinacea. Fights inflammation, helps with fighting colds. It acts as a soldier for your immune system. Really just boosts it, gives us a little bit of a helping hand, right? That's why echinacea is so good when we're fighting colds. The immune system triggers inflammation when it feels threatened. Echinacea eases said inflammation. Marshmallow root. Yes, marshmallows. And yes, marshmallows were originally made using marshmallow root. If you ever boil it, it becomes this sticky mess. It legit becomes a marshmallow. It is amazing for soothing mucosal linings, your stomach, your throat, your intestines. Soothes your throat when it's sore. It eases coughs because of said soothing. If you're dealing with drainage, if you have access to freshly made marshmallows, things made directly from marshmallow root, which I think Whole Foods now actually carries. I don't know about Central Market, but I think Whole Foods actually carries things like that now. Have some marshmallow. What kind of nutritionist tells you to have marshmallow, huh? It works. I'm telling you. Go have a s'mores. Eat the marshmallow. Just make sure it is not one of the ones that is very popular on our shelves. Make sure it comes directly from marshmallow root itself. And that's where you're going to get the healing properties. Because legitimately, the way that marshmallow root becomes the most effective healer and helper is by becoming the sticky mess. If you ever have the chance and you are like me and you're like really into scientific experiments on a lot of these, get some marshmallow root. You can get it fairly cheaply from like Amazon or, any of the organic grocery markets. We usually have it in their herbal section. And drop it in some water. Just boil it, see what happens. You'll see what I'm talking about. You can also boil that and just take spoonfuls. So like you're taking a cold syrup. All right, lemon balm. Here's the deal with lemon balm. Lemon balm, the more you take it, the more you consume it, the more effective it is for your body. It helps relax your stress response. So it basically helps support your adrenal system. And when you're fighting a cold and everything, you're in a heightened stress state because your body is fighting something, right? The immune system has been activated. You're fighting something. You're in a heightened stress state. Lemon balm helps ease that and relax it. It helps you sleep better. Sleep helps you heal. It's a cycle. All right. So last one, rosemary. Rosemary contains eucalyptol. Eucalyptol is what is in eucalyptus. So rosemary, eucalyptus. The thing with the difference between rosemary and eucalyptus is eucalyptus has a much different fragrance. That those properties, because the eucalyptol is so strong within that plant, really works effectively and is pretty potent on the sinuses and congestion and coughing within your chest. Rosemary helps. It is effective. It is not effective as eucalyptus, but it's still there. So when you're making your Italian dishes, include some rosemary. Thyme, sage, all of the Italian herbs really do help with upper respiratory and head colds. The most effective ones are the ones that I've mentioned. Oregano, garlic, rosemary. They're the top three most potent and most helpful because of the strength of their effects. So there are a lot more herbs and foods and things of that nature, but ultimately these are things that you're going to find very easily in your store or in your own kitchen. That being said, let's talk about some infused waters. Now I talk about infused waters so that you can get your hydration in, right? Watermelon infused, cucumber infused, lemon, strawberries, grapefruits, things like that, right? You can use that same process to help hydrate and heal while you're overcoming colds and fighting colds and flus and things like that, sinus congestion. Because hydration is a thing. We need to be hydrated. We need to be well hydrated so that lymphatic system can work, circulatory system can work, digestion can work, and everything can do its thing to help us bring in the good, kick out the bad. Okay? Infused waters that you should have during these months. Ginger and mint. It may sound really weird because normally you hear ginger and lemon, right? Ginger and mint. You can do that separate. You can do it together. It acts as obviously digestion, easing on digestion, but both work effectively towards easing headaches as well. So hydration as well as healing properties. Cold, it tastes amazing, especially if you're using spearmint or just your general basic, common mint with ginger. Oh, it tastes amazing cold. Ice cold water. Oh, it's so good. So next up is cucumber water. So cucumber flushes. It eases nausea. Didn't know that. Did you? Pickles, nausea. Remember me mentioning that? It all stems from cucumbers and the fermentation process. So while cucumbers are going to help you with nausea, cucumbers actually are more effective once they're fermented on nausea. But if you can't handle pickles, you got a cucumber in the house, have a couple slices. Can't handle that? Throw them into water, let it get infused. The very last one is honey water. And I know everyone's hearing, have honey tea and lemon tea with honey and all that, right? Honey water is literally just honey and water. It's when the honey is too thick that it just, your gag reflex starts, especially if you have an upset stomach as well as throat conditions. coughing, things like that, and your tummy's upset, have some honey water. 2 tablespoons to 8 ounces of water. That's it. It will be more absorbed with heated water, so warm or hot water. Get the honey in there, let it infuse, let it blend with the water, put it in your refrigerator. The joy of all 4 of these ingredients, ginger, mint, cucumber, and honey, you can actually combine all of them into one pitcher. Chop them up, gallon of water, put them inside, and let it sit for a good 12 hours, 8 to 12 hours. You'll love it. And that gallon of water will help you stay hydrated. So, all of that being said, you now have an arsenal of information to help you get through the winter months without feeling like you can't get out of bed, you don't want to get out of bed, and you're going to pull the covers over and say that's enough because you're sick. I mean, you might do that anyway, just because, life is life, and some days we have those days. But as you're walking through, and especially, the face massage, it really helps. The headache and then the sinuses, which I'm not pressing on those spots right now. It helps you relieve that pressure. And there are pressure points all over the body. Reflexology is a thing. It works. It helps. There's a point in the pads of your foot between your big toe and your little toes. You know how you have the big pad for your big toe? And then you have the longer pad? That point right there, when you press on it, helps relieve migraines. Helps relieve digestion when you press on the heel side of that. And the thing with reflexology in your hands and your feet, as well as sinuses and the facial massage we talked about, if you press and massage and feel pain, and I'm not talking debilitating pain, I'm talking an achy pain where you're like, oh, there's a thing there. That indicates that you're going to want to massage multiple times a day. So 2 to 4 times a day is typically healthy so that you avoid bruising, you avoid too much. Because overabundance of anything is never good. You want balance regardless of what you're doing. So with that all being said, take all of this, take what you can out of it, use what's effective for you, what's helpful for you, and let me know. Let me know what works. I'm always curious too, because there are hundreds of thousands of remedies and traditional therapies out there. We could have multiple lives sharing those. So if you know of anything that works for you, let me know. And, maybe we'll do one of these a month so that we actually have just an arsenal available to us. And you guys can just bookmark the things that make sense to you, the things that click for you. Because you always, no matter what I say, no matter what anybody says, take the information, use and absorb what works well for you, what feels connected to you, and what feels like it's gravitated towards you. Let the rest go. It's okay. All right, so that's it for today. You're going to see this pop up. I will let you guys know when it's up on YouTube, when it's up on the podcast, and I'll include the links in our group so that you can go ahead and listen over there. And moving forward, this is going to be a consistent thing. The lives on Monday will be shared on YouTube and in a podcast to make it easier for you guys to access them and listen to them if you cannot watch these live. All right, y'all. Go have a good Monday. Next week, we are going to keep going. January, we are going to talk gut health until you are sick of talking gut health. So, go have a good day. Clean out your sinuses. Clean out your world. And if you're feeling kind of icky, feel better, you guys. I'll chat with you later. Bye.
Thanks for listening. What'd you think? I'm excited to hear your thoughts, and I'm always looking to improve the podcast. So leave me a review or send me a message with your honest opinion, questions, and takeaways. Want to continue the discussion with us? Just click on the link in the show notes and join us in a private community. And as always, remember, it is time to stop struggling and start enjoying life again. See you next time.